is growth hacking is a process of rapid experimentation across marketing channels and product development to identify the most effective and efficient ways to grow a business. There's a lot in there, and we're going to unpack that. We've heard Andrew Chen, who helped coin the term. He now runs growth at Uber. Sean Ellis, who used to run growth at Dropbox, actually was the person that actually coined the term growth hacker, and was popularized by Andrew Chen. He's someone who sees growth as their true north. And Andrew Chen would sort of say it as a combination of marketer and coder. So the idea in this program, in this partnership with Data Labs, is we're bringing together data querying and analytics skills and data science skills in conjunction with marketing, product marketing, UI, UX design, and growth skills to have you come away ultimately with a complete package and a set of skills that you can use to advance your product and grow yourself. So taking a look at this, what is growth hacking, and unpacking it a little bit, these are the types of people that growth hackers are: product managers, product marketers, engineers, and data science. You're ultimately focusing on building a product and engaging the user base of that product. And as you probably saw in some of the advertising materials related to this public course, you see the various jobs that are available to growth hackers out there, and they're vast and wide. So digging into and unpacking what is growth hacking. Experimentation across marketing channels. Well, what do they mean by that? Well, a marketing channel is really a pathway. It's a pathway of traffic to users and to growth. And we see this in this course as the terrain that growth ninjas navigate. We use the concept of ninja training, which has 18 skills if you look up ninja training in Jiu-Jitsu, and use that as a framework to map onto real-life growth hacking training with real-life tactics and real-life skills that you can apply. I just pause for a second here. So I, for one, have paid thousands of dollars online for courses, training online, as well as individual private coaching. And sort of in that, it's really about, for me, some of the things that I've come away with is what specific channels are best to target for my business and for my product and for myself and my career. Each of you are different. Each of you have different products. Each of you have different career goals. So we try to help understand what your terrain is and how to navigate that terrain in the context of the training. Okay. Now, experimentation across product development, another sort of complex sentence, and let's unpack that. We look at product development as a cycle that ultimately starts with you or your company's idea, and it evolves through testing and continuous refinement over time to become something that your users or customers cannot live without. So with Growth Ninjutsu, we try to take you from the very, very beginning to the product solution stage, starting with the product solution stage, which I'll allude to later on in this module, and walk you through your company idea. What is your idea? What is your product idea? Who are your buyer personas? Who are your target customers? And give you homework and exercises that are designed to help you come away with tangible assets to, one, figure out that problem, but also have assets that you can use as you advance in your career, and take it through the idea stage to the actual concepting, wireframing into UI and UX, and ultimately to launch and to distribution. For those of you that don't have your own products, one of the things that we offer in conjunction with Data Labs is my company, again, Perkins & Squire, being a digital publishing and marketing agency, we're constantly working on products. And in a non-agency capacity, we have some live products out there and others that are in development that you, through the program, can get direct experience using. So on the one hand, you'll be getting the training through the modules and the Q&As and the coaching, and on the other hand, you have the opportunity in the elite level program to actually get the direct application of that training and that experience on real products in the market. All right. So to be a growth ninja, you really need to have cross-discipline expertise, hard tactical and soft awareness, communication skills, experience, and all these things sort of combined. And we try as best as possible to put this all together in this Growth Ninja framework and help you navigate this through module-based learning, opportunities for real-world practical application of that learning, Q&A sessions, and office hour discussions, and opportunities for one-to-one coaching. Again, if you have any more questions regarding this, feel free. We can cover them at the end in the Q&A session. And me and my team are always trying to be available throughout the program also to handle your individual customized calls, which is why we try to cap this at a reasonable number of 20 so that we can effectively manage and deliver value to everybody. All right, so how do we train you? Just a little bit further, these modules, and these are the type of things, again, I want to just make sure that's unequivocally clear what you're going to be getting for participating in the program so we know exactly up front how it works. We've created a separate software product that actually houses the video modules. The video modules you will be given access to these modules, a special custom code after you've applied and gone through the screening process with Data Labs, and then you can dive right into the material, and you'll have annual access to the material. So even if you do not are unable to attend or watch all of the modules initially, maybe you can watch them as sort of as you go. Every week we also have office hour discussions where we ask you to submit your questions in advance of the office hour discussion to your TAs. Those questions are then deduplicated, and every single question is then addressed in the context of the office hour discussion plus a live sort of ask me anything session. So the idea is to try to get all of the questions answered so that everybody in the program can benefit. Some people may have the same questions, some people may have different questions, and then also have a live sort of on-the-fly questioning. And then we also have customized tactics specifically that we allow you to apply in week 4 with some tools that my company uses and pays for, and for various growth hacking work that we do in agency and non-agency capacity. All right, and then of course there's also the private coaching element as well. And for those that are able to complete the homework and get a satisfactory review, this all comes in the context of an internship where they can ultimately, based on your delivery and your completion of the work that validates that you've done, Perkins and Squire, the publishing company, acting as your supervisor and seeing that, can vouch for you, and hopefully not only have you learned and come away with value in your heart, but you have legitimate experience that you can put on your resume and help your career going forward. All right, so before we get really into the tactics, and I know it's like, let's see some tactics, shall we? I just want to reiterate, and we're going to over-communicate this throughout the course, that growth is really a mentality. You know, the process of becoming a growth ninja, as it says here, is one of learning and refinement to develop this mentality. So yes, there are tactics, and tactics are important, but achieving this all-rounded discipline is what we want you to come away with, because you never know what your future employer or future product may be. And the idea is, in making yourself more employable, is to have the confidence and the ability and skill to be able to say, I can come into this product and I can help it grow because I have a core foundation of growth skills, and I have a core set of tactics that I can bring to bear, and I have an overall growth mentality which will guide and govern my behavior and action within this firm to drive growth. So I think that sometimes people get over the top with frameworks and mentalities, so we definitely will give you tactics, things that you can do right now, step-by-step guides that you can follow to get some quick wins and to get that positive momentum. But I can't over-communicate enough that you want to come away with this notion of growth as a mentality and this confidence that will allow you to be able to not only analyze data, but really to go out and get data and get customers and drive growth for your prospective business. So let's unpack this notion of this discipline and sort of tactics and give you a little sneak peek and sort of highlight into some of the things that we cover throughout the entire program. What it means to be a T-shaped digital marketer, we're going to unpack that, okay? You learning product life cycles, what are product life cycles, what are customer life cycles, and the Pirate Metrics framework. Who founded that framework? And you see that this Pirate Metric framework, which was actually coined by a guy named Dave McClure, who started the venture capitalist firm in the West Coast 500 Startups, is now a framework that's being applied across all different types of growth hackers and growth sort of disciplines. So we're going to give you a little insight into that. Also learning channels. You know, we talked about traction channels, but the channels and the marketing channels that you can exploit and how to exploit them by using various tactics. And then applying these tactics and skills on real products, and I'm going to give you an example here. So all of this stuff, understanding T-shaped digital marketing and making you really a T-shaped digital marketer as a growth ninja, as a growth hacker, is something that we come away with throughout the entirety of the program. Getting you into the product life cycles, the various stages, is covered in various modules. Applying the Pirate Metrics framework as well as our overall ninja training aspect to the stages of customer acquisition, activation, retention, revenue, and referral, things that we cover in the modules, and the channels. Which channels to exploit. Using a bullseye framework to determine, of the many channels that you can go after, what are the top 3 that are best for you, for your product, right? So you can, again, have this discipline and have these tactics, but apply them for you in your career and for you in your product. So let's just unpack this a little bit here, a bit further. The T-shaped digital marketing framework. Now, if you look at this, it looks like a T, and you can see there's a ton of stuff in here. And a lot of people ask, well, what does it mean to be a growth hacker? What kind of jobs can I get if I'm a growth hacker? Great questions. And being a growth hacker, as I said in the beginning, is having cross-disciplinary expertise. Well, what are the disciplines? Here they are laid out in a nice, clean way in the form of a T. You have statistics, programming, product design and UX principles, analytics, behavioral psychology, brand position, and storytelling. I mean, these are things, how do you position your brand? What words do you write in copywriting to communicate your message, to communicate your unique selling proposition? We have a session in one of our modules which focused specifically on honing in on your unique selling proposition for your specific product. We offer a private coaching session that allows, if you have a particular product that you're focusing on or would like to focus on, how do you deliver that messaging? And making sure that your copy is as forthcoming and is accentuating benefits over features, and just trying to narrow that in. All of these things are skills and things that growth hackers do. Funnel marketing. What is a funnel? What is a sales funnel? What is a micro funnel? We break that down in the context of creating web pages and giving you tools that our company uses on a day in, day out basis, and we use in eating our own cooking as growth hackers to help you break down a funnel and to create a funnel. Excel modeling, wireframing, database querying covered extensively in the SQL query offered SQL class by Jason, A/B testing baked into the tools, CRO, conversion rate optimization. If this page is one way, if it's a different way with a separate layout of the button, will that help drive conversions? How will we optimize those conversions? And then there are sub-layers: viral marketing, Facebook marketing ads, display ads, mobile, email, pay-per-click, and search engine optimization. When you're writing copy and writing blog posts and creating content, how do you want to layer in certain keywords so that you can rank highly? All of these things, both the knowledge-based layer, the foundational layer, and the expertise layer, are things that we try as best as possible to layer into the program here so that you can come away with some of these skills and really feel like you're on your path to becoming and are a T-shaped digital marketing framework. Each of these verticals, if you will, in and of itself is an employable skill set, in our opinion. Understanding next, unpacking the product lifecycle and the 5 stages. I talked earlier about problem-solution fit. Another stage is the minimum viable product stage. The third is product market fit. Fourth is language market fit. Fourth is scale. And then fifth went a little further is maturity. These are 5 stages of where you are in your product. If you come to this course with a specific product, you as a founder or you as a marketer at a particular product where you're employed full-time or part-time, you may be at a particular stage. And we try to assess where you are in that stage and what are some tactics that you can apply to advance your product based on where it is. We'll explain each stage further and also walk through various growth tactics that you can use depending on where you are. Obviously, if you're just in the problem-solution fit stage, the type of growth tactics that you might apply would be very different than if you're at the scale stage. So we cover that. Unpacking things further, we talked about this, the customer lifecycle and the Pirate metrics framework. Okay, the Pirate metric framework is really an acronym, which is short for acquisition, activation, retention, referral, and revenue. Put all these together, and it kind of sounds like the sound a pirate would make. Arr. Anyway, this is a very handy framework or overlay that you can use to break down not only channels and acquisition tactics, but also there are various funnels and also metrics that you can measure and say, okay, how am I doing with regards to my growth tactics related to activation? How growth experiments and growth tactics I'm using for acquisition? And we unpack this. Here's just a quick little highlight. For example, you can look at acquisition and say, does this person visit the site? Do they converge? What is the estimated value? Just giving them, this is just giving you a random number here. Or activation, do they have a happy first visit, view a certain number of pages, click a certain number of things, and ultimately result in a conversion? Retention, how is this person, once they're coming onto the site, are they opening your emails regularly after they come onto your site and subscribe? Are they a repeat visitor? Things like this. And different ways to sort of analyze these layers or stages and optimize for them using various growth tactics. And as you can see here, a lot of the things that are covered here, and this is again put forth by Dave, is similar to what we talk about in what we think about in the T-shaped digital marketing framework. So you have kind of these 3 frameworks and notions that are here really all consolidated in the context of this growth ninjutsu training to have you come away with the disciplines, again, as well as the skills and the tactics. Creating a homepage and a landing page. Can you create a web page quickly? Can you get that web page live? Can that web page be written with a compelling offer? And can you turn that page into a giving page where you give the prospect something of value in return for asking for their email address, right? Similar to this webinar, you're here because hopefully you're going to learn something. You're going to be taking away some of the things that we're providing to you here, and you're going to get value, which is why you want to sign up and hopefully advance in your career. Same thing with your product. What is it giving to your potential buyers, your buyer personas, your target prospects that's going to give them value? Unpacking traction channels. You know, we said, what does the T stand for in the T-shaped digital marketer, and we'll cover that in a second. But these are different types of traction channels, and we look at each of them: viral marketing, public relations, unconventional public relations. I mean, you can read them here, but these are each in and of themselves their own channel that you, as a growth ninja, can focus specifically on for the development of your product. If you don't have a product, we, in the non-agency capacity, can give you products to work on in projects that are real live out in the field now, where we are focusing on some of these channels and trying to apply tactics on those products related to those channels. All right. So again, what is the T for? T is for T-shaped digital marketer. T is for traction channels. T is for tactics that drives these tactics in the frameworks. All right. So in the course of our modules, these are the types of things: statistics, programming, product design and UX, analytics, and behavioral psychology. All things that we're covering in the course of our Growth Ninja training here. All right. So now let's just get right into a tactic that you can apply. For all of you that are out there actively networking for your career, you probably spend a lot of time on LinkedIn. You're probably looking at prospective employers, maybe even stalking them a bit, looking at some skills or some past experience that they have, so that you can then go out and network with them, maybe send them a contact request, then follow up maybe for some coffee or chat. And I know because I've done this before, and it can take a ton of time. Being a growth ninja helps you to see how you can automate certain processes like manual LinkedIn stalking to allow you to achieve the same goal, but to do it on autopilot while you're sleeping, so you're out there creating a machine that can work for you. And we call this sort of a growth weapon, the way in which you can combine multiple skills and tie in various tools together, and you can run it completely on autopilot once you build it. So what I'm going to walk through here, and we do this in the first week of our training, is the tool that we created here called the lead machine. What we'll do is we provide you with access to a specific tool or set of tools, how you can use it, and a step-by-step guide that allows you to create this growth weapon. It brings to bear a lot of skills. So going back to that T-shaped framework, what it means to be a digital marketer, you're going to be focusing on copywriting, you're going to be doing some querying, you're going to be doing some sort of tool hacking, if you will, and pushing the boundaries of a tool to hopefully make it work more for your benefit to achieve your goal, which is ultimately to contact somebody, get their email address, get a direct response for them to be able to meet with you for a coffee or to network with them. Or if you're doing this for your product, you can do it to introduce your product and have this run all on autopilot. So we call this the lead machine. Here's what its objectives are. Create this machine that's fed on Boolean strings. It finds your target customer, it gets their email address, emails them, and gets their response. Now this is done through a combination or a hacking together of a tool plus some web scraping, ultimately to get direct response. And as growth ninjas, as growth hackers, we want to be results accountable marketers. Always trying to pride ourselves on the results that we can achieve. So the idea here in this weapon is to get the response. That's the result that we're looking for. Awesome. All right. So layering on the pirate metric focus, this falls under sort of the stage of acquisition. And your output objective is ultimately acquire, to get response from prospective customers, and acquire an email list for the targets that your growth machine found and emailed. So imagine that you're taking the course and you're going through this particular growth weapon and combining these tactics to build this lead machine. The assets that you want to come away with, or the things that you want to acquire, not only are the responses from your customers, but also an email list, which you can then use for many purposes later on, retargeting, additional email campaigns, etc. All right, so here's a step-by-step guide. Step 1, we're going to create a Boolean search string. Step 2, download and install the Marketing Sumo app, which is a tool that we use specifically for this. Step 3, email us at teachers@. Step 4, log into your linked account. Step 5, create your email sequence. And step 6, set up your email address as a sender and run it. So in the context of this public course, I'm going to give you a high-level breakdown of how to do it. As a student, you would go through with coaching as well as an individual call to walk you through, so you could do it right now. But even if you don't attend, I'd recommend you look into Boolean search strings, copywriting, and Marketing Sumo and try to run this. It might save you a bunch of time. All right, so step 1. Create Boolean search strings to target your prospects. So it depends on who you're trying to network with. Again, if you're trying to acquire customers for your product, it may vary than if you're trying to acquire responses from potential employers. But you can have an example. Let's say you're trying to network with software engineers. You can use Boolean search strings, and I'll give you an example here with this link from LinkedIn on how to run them. Here's an example that we've created for you, for example, on people you're targeting. Let's say you want to get to the CEO or the CMO or the CFO. You put all of these in and creating your Boolean search string. And you're going to feed this. You can also get further and get location specific. And I'll jump ahead for a second. But you're ultimately going to feed this into your engine for targeting your prospects. We walk through this querying a bit further during the module. All right. So let's say, for example, you have a fitness product. We actually, this is an example of a course that came through the Data Labs and Growth Ninjutsu training program, and she was working at a particular program that was targeting. It was a product that was a fitness product, and we're targeting athletic coaches as the primary buyer. So we worked to create this Boolean search string, which is targeting athletic coaches in this manner: personal trainer or instructor, parentheses, and you can read it. All of this went in. And this was saved in a Google document, and you can create multiple versions of this in anticipation of feeding it into the machine. Next, we use Download Message Sumo, which is an app. I'd encourage you to check it out and install it. For those that are going through the program, we give you access to this that we pay for, the app that you can run it ourselves, which is why we ask you to email us. All right? Then you ultimately download and install that once we've given you access. And you log into your LinkedIn account. Now, you don't have to have a premium account. One of the things that is really annoying in some of the courses that I've taken is this, or some of the lessons, hey, you should really use this tool, but the problem is you can't use the tool because you don't have a budget to pay for the tool. Well, in the context of our program here, what we tried to do is give you access to the tools. So you sign an NDA, and my company, Perkins & Squire, and the publishing aspect, which are using these tools, can give you access, and then it's on us to monitor, obviously, password and access control. That's why we try to also limit the number of students and give you the opportunity to actually apply the tactics using the tools without having to spend any more money than should you have to spend for participating in the course. So you would log into your LinkedIn account, and you'd log into Message Sumo directly, which are linked together via their API. And now you're creating an email sequence. So this is all initially done offline offline, online in a Google document where you're doing preparatory stuff, right? So maybe we're looking for fund investors, maybe we're looking for athletic coaches. There are different types of targets that you could use, and you can basically, inside of this tool, create a sequence where what you're going to say to that prospect once they're contacted and emailed. So what we're trying to do here is we're creating copy and writing copy to basically reach out to the create your sequence by adding colon, reach out. Let me give you an example here. Reach out to the person and get them to introduce a particular product and get them to respond. And you're doing this all through the Messaging Sumo tool and LinkedIn. So I went a little fast there, but basically you're creating in advance a written series of emails. You're feeding those written series of emails into the tool. Secondly, you're creating a Boolean search string to target the type of person that you want those emails to go to, and you're combining them together, and then you're going to allow the tool to do web scraping to find those people and send them these emails. All right, so you write the cold emails. Here's an example. This is an example of a custom email that we wrote. This is a little tip because we're giving you access to the tool. Here's some tips that we walk through in writing cold emails. And during a coaching session, we can tailor and customize the cold email so that we're targeting the specific prospect that you're trying to reach out to, making it more personalized using engine. This is an example of a copy example that we worked with. So just stepping back for a second, thinking of you as a T-shaped digital marketer, you as a growth ninja, one of those knowledge-based layers, as you may recall, was copywriting, writing the words. What are the type of words that are going to get the response? This is a longer one. Maybe we want to write a smaller 3-sentence one. But again, using our athletic coach example, we've said, given your expertise, I wanted to reach out. Sorry for the cold email, because this person's going to receive this email from you for the first time. So we're being very direct, but we want to introduce the software that we built that allows you to do, and it's in brackets because your language may be different, and we're just asking for one ask, just check it out. If so, reply. That's the direct response that we're looking for. Instead of sending you the link and freaking you out, we wanted to just ask for a reply. You can also go to your site by Googling. Now, this is an example of a product that's already launched and is sort of past the product solution fit, but is right around MVP and beyond MVP, trying to achieve product market fit. Your copy might be different depending on where your product is, or if you're using one of our products, depending on where that is. All right, so that was an example. Here's some zooms. This is some tips. I'll move through. And now we're going to map out the email sequence schedule. So this gets into the topic of lifecycle email marketing. So after that person receives the first email from you, maybe they don't respond, but you want to have on Wednesday, let's say, or 3 days later, you want to send another email. Hey, following up. All the types of things that you would manually do when you're trying to get someone's attention and response in the context of manual LinkedIn outreach, we're doing here in an automated way via the lead machine. So you run your Boolean search within MessageSumo, and here's what happens. Basically, it's going to scrape and find, these are some examples of emails of the target person based on your Boolean search string. It's going to find those buyer prospects, find those personas for you. And you're going to let it fly. And these are the things that sort of go into it. And I'm going very fast here, but just trying to give you a sense of a tactic with using the tools and what it's trying to do, and some of the things that we're covering. Writing scripts, writing copy, using cold email outreach tools, doing some tool hacks, combining LinkedIn with another app in Marketing Sumo with search strings and copy, and building an automation into your growth hacking for customer acquisition. So this is an example of sort of combining some of these disciplines, some of these skill sets into one tactic that you can put to work for your life right now, whether you're trying to do it for career advancement or whether you're trying to do it for product advancement. And it's sort of a proxy for some of the things that we cover in building growth weapons and applying growth tactics in the course in Growth Ninjutsu overall. More tactics equal more cross-disciplinary skills. This is what we want. We want you to become the T-shaped marketer. We want you to have skills across the disciplines, not just in one type of data querying or data science, but also copywriting, also in statistics, also in UI and brand position and storytelling, and ultimately to get back to having more disciplines and achieving the overarching discipline of growth. And this is really what Growth Ninjutsu is about. So, as we conclude, I wanted to say that thank you for joining, and for those of you that have any questions, please certainly throw them into the chat webinar window there. We'll cover them. And for all of those of you that are here now, you'll be given a special discount for attending our upcoming course, again capped at 20, and please apply directly in the next few days here with Data Labs to go through the process. My team and I are available to answer questions, so if you'd like to reach out, contact the Data Labs team. We can set up individual calls to answer questions further, but we'd like to take the opportunity now to answer any questions or calls that you may have, questions that you may have related to the course and things that you can learn and ways you can benefit by participating. So Jason, without further ado, we'll pass it back over to you to open it up for questions or to continue on.
Yes, thank you for your presentation, and we will open a Q&A later. At this point, I will make some introduction about the SQL class and also the web crawler, because we will teach these two classes in Chinese. So I will make the introduction in Chinese, and let me get back the presenter.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm making me as a presenter. OK，我想大家可能看的是就是我的这个 Ian，do you see my screen there? It's
Yes,
about
sir. Certainly do.
OK, cool, thank you. 我就用5分钟介绍一下另外2个部分。这个 Growth Hacking 的 Training Program 第一个部分呢，Ian 将这个教授一些Growth Hacking 的一些 tools technology。然后在第2个部分的话，我们会有一个 SQL 的一个 training， 主要是教授一些SQL 的 query、SQL 的 programming， 主要 cover 一些基本的一些SQL 的一些语法呀，还有一些 how to make 一些 queries，and 还有一些相对高级的一些 SQL 的一些 programming 的一些技巧，比如说如何去做一个 sub query 啊，还有一些inter-drawing、altering。然后我们还会介绍一些 SQL 的一些 automations。现在在很多公司，其实他们都在用这个 Python 来去调一些 SQL 的 queries， 这样的话可以提高工作的效率。我知道很多在做这个 business analyst 或者是做一些marketing 的一些学员，他们其实很需要这方面的技能。最后的话，我们会用 SQL 来实现ETL，并且呢用 SQL 去展示如何 generate 一些reports。OK，最后一部分的话呢，我们会教授大家如何用 Python 做一些web crawlers。因为在 Growth Hacking，很多 web crawler 的应用在这个领域。刚才的话 Ian 演示了如何get 一些 connection through LinkedIn by using a third-party tools。但是在很多的情况下，其实你是可以写一些 Python 的程序。我这里呢就是演示了一下我们一位叫凯的学员，他用 Python 的话呢做了一个 crawler。这个 crawler 是干什么用的呢？他就是去 Indeed.com 去 crawl 了所有的data scientist、data analyst and data engineer 这些工作的机会。然后他 crawl 回来的话呢，其实是为了他自己申请工作用的，但是他做了一些进一步的一些 data mining 和 data analysis， 这就是他的一些结果。针对他对 data scientist 还有 data engineers 这些job description 的分析，你会看到作为 data scientist 的话，最大的64% of them using Python as their programming language， 是吧？然后作为 data engineers 这边的话，你会看到about 80%， 是吧？80%的人，80%的数据工程师的岗位要求你会SQL 这个语言，当然 Python 是 45%。下边的话，他还做了很多别的一些那个数据的分析啊，还有一些data mining 的东西。这个的话呢，是他在这个毕业以后自己的一个 demo 的一个作品。OK，这个呢，大概就是我对我们这个最后2个部分，就是 database、SQL programming and web crawler 的一个简单的一个介绍。我们现在就可以open 我们的 Q&A session。Okay, hold on. I already see one question there. Hi Yan, thank you. Yan, can you see the screen there? I see someone asked a question.
Let's see. I can see your screen, but if you want to read the question out to me, then I can answer it that way. Or if you want to
Okay.
pull up the window.
For some reason, I cannot show the webinar.
No problem. So maybe just
Okay,
read.
let me just read that. Okay. So when Yan answers this question, I will move everyone to the panelists So everyone can, just unmute your mic. You can, ask a question through your microphone. Okay. The first question is, hi Yan, thank you for your speaking today. I'm interested in the email marketing automation. Yan, he's asking something about email marketing automation.
Certainly. So great. Yeah, so let's just freeze frame email marketing automation as a topic and a category for a second. Thank you for your question. I hope to meet you at some point electronically, or maybe even in person. We at Perkins & Squire actually use a variety of tools. One tool is a very powerful tool called Infusionsoft. That tool costs about $3,000 for initial setup, and then depending on your license, runs a few $100s a month. That's Infusionsoft.com. And we integrate that through various products. We've also been using a tool called Drip, which is an email marketing automation tool as well that competes with Infusionsoft and was recently bought by another tool that we use, Leadpages. I mentioned those tools because they're tools that we use, that we pay for, and that we try to give you access to so that you can kind of unpack the tool, but also the skills behind it. Obviously, the tool allows you to perform the function that you'd like, but the skills behind it is understanding the tool, navigating the tool, and obviously powering the tool with the language. So what are you going to say? What words are you going to write? How are you going to write out the logic sequence that you're going to then feed into this tool? These are things that we cover, and we've actually done a lot of this on the private coaching sessions, and we have some step-by-step how-to walkthroughs. So we start by kind of giving you an overview and a lecture, but then we really try to get you to roll up your sleeves and do it yourself. The end goal here is obviously to achieve the output, but also to be able to say that you know how to use that tool, which you can put on your resume, and ultimately, truthfully, have as a skill that you can apply. So if you have further questions regarding marketing automation, please fire away. But those are two tools that we use and that we allow our students to use in the context of some of the projects, and we try to break it down into 3 steps. First step is the actual writing out of the logic, the sequence, what we're going to send, when we're going to send it, and why. Second step is actually writing the copy to fill in that sequence. And this third step is actually using the tool itself to actually build that out. You could have a course in and of itself just on email marketing automation, in my opinion. You could have email marketing automation trigger after someone opts into a webinar. You could have email possibilities are endless, and a big believer in email marketing automation, and think that growth hackers should be dexterous and experts in that skill. So hopefully that answers your question. Those are some examples of tools that we use. We think they're the best tools in the market, and we hope to give you access so that you can come away with learning as well. Again, if you have more detail to your question, please ask, and I'll be happy to answer.
Okay, I think I have moved almost everyone to the panelist, and you can ask question there. And I heard some noise from some students there, so I have to mute you if you continuously make some noise there. So I do get some questions through the questions window. The next one. Hello? Okay, so the next question is, I'm a student majoring in data science. I'm just wondering that whether these machine learning things will be helpful to become a growth hacker. Yeah, I think he's asking some machine learning things. May I answer the question first? So you can... Okay, cool. So for the machine learning things, you have to get enough data set to do some, machine learning. We have a supervised machine learning or unsupervised. And in the growth hacking part, so when you do the marketing, you can define some ground truth data set, and then you can do some supervised machine learning, build a model to target exactly, what target you want to reach. Also, you can use some, unsupervised machine learning there to, classify you clients, and then they do some business analysis, and then say what is the features for that particular group of clients, and then figure out a way to do the marketing. So I do see a lot of students, they use machine learning things in marketing. So yeah, that is what I see in our training class. Yeah, do you have any other things?
Yeah, I do. In my experience, I built a product, launched that product, used the tool to collect analytics associated around that product. There are tools like Google Analytics, Mixpanel, and Heap, and then put that into Tableau to run some sort of querying, and then ultimately to try to build and hire someone to have some machine learning around that data. In my experience, it was at a certain level of the product, a certain level of that product's life cycle where that machine learning became worth the spend. I think having the skill set is a valuable skill set, but it's basically a skill set that you apply once you have data to work on, right? So we try to balance out, you might inherit data by working at a large firm that has a lot of data, and I would like you to run and create some machine learning scripts to analyze that data to make things go faster, and that's where this training and this skill will come in and be handy. But on the other hand, how do you balance that with growth hacking? What happens if you don't have that data yet, or your data set is small and there's statistical insignificance, as you would say, right? How do you go about actually at acquiring the data before any of that machine learning can be valuable? So we try to focus on that as well, and going out and getting growth and using tactics that can help you get the data, which you can then use to the machines to learn from.
Okay, so another question is, some of our students want to connect with you through LinkedIn. So Ian, can you give us the LinkedIn?
Oh yeah, sure. If you just, no problem. If you can, if Jason, if you just want to send over, just Google, Ian Tracy, you'll see. I can after this, if you'd like, I can. If they contact with you, or you could go to my profile and connect directly. It would actually be. I'm happy to have some quick individual calls with myself or any of my staff if they'd like me to field individual questions. Jason, that might be easier as well.
Okay.
I prefer to talk to someone first and get a sense, or at least have some correspondence before we just randomly connect. So I'm happy to do that if they have specific questions.
Okay, cool. And another question is, could you tell us some interview questions about a data scientist, or some required skill set about a data scientist? Okay, that's a good question. Even though it's not related to growth hacking, but I'm glad to answer this question. Yeah, data scientist, is all about machine learning, statistics, and also programming skills, and also business logic. They are the three major parts to be a data scientist. I saw a lot of PhD students came from different majors, and they already have very good foundation to be a data scientist. For instance, they are good at machine learning and also statistics, and some of them are pretty good at programming. The only thing they miss is some business logic. So you got to know some knowledge or insight for one particular business. For instance, if you want to go to LinkedIn as a data scientist or data analyst, so you get to know that how LinkedIn is working, and make your social network more than 500 connection there. And also I think the challenge, when I talk with directors, several directors in LinkedIn, their challenge is how to find the business value through the large scale data set. They have millions engineers there, but how to get the business value through those data. That is their challenge. Also the challenge for every data scientist in LinkedIn. So, like I said, three parts. One is you have to know how to programming in SQL, Python, R. The second part is, you should be very good at machine learning. And the third part, try to understand one business domain and get some insight about how the business is running. Yan, do you have other comments there?
Sure. Yeah, I would just build on that and say, in the context of if you were specifically recruiting, using LinkedIn as your example, Jason, you sort of brought that up. If you were interviewing at LinkedIn, we would work to help you with the business logic, specifically, how does LinkedIn make money? How are they growing? Knowing this, and I've seen students get tripped up where they actually have the technical skills to do all sorts of data analysis, but they go into a job and they're unfamiliar with the business logic, and most importantly, how the business that they're interviewing for makes money. And I think this question stemmed from what are some types of interview questions that you get, and we often see folks starting off with, well, tell me what you know about X, tell me what you know about LinkedIn, what you know about us, and why you would work here. For example, using LinkedIn as a proxy, you can look at the Series B deck that Reid Hoffman actually made public and just do some little growth hacking to get that and actually see how they built their business and focused on it. I'm happy to can share that as a link in terms of what LinkedIn did to grow and some of the things that LinkedIn did to basically determine what the metrics were that mattered to them to drive growth, right? Because ultimately, in my opinion, as a data scientist, you want to help the growth team and the company overall grow by picking out the metrics that matter based on your analysis of the data, right? So I think tying in the technical skills with the understanding of the business logic is essential if you want to be hired.
Okay, thank you, Ian. I do find some other questions through the chat window. Okay, so one question is, I used to run a marketing automation software for a big company, but now I'm a startup company. I'm not sure you are talking about you are the owner or you are working for a startup company. Anyway, so he was asking, he doesn't have too much resources to purchase marketing automation software. And
okay. So I can speak to that, Jason.
Okay, go ahead.
There's two questions. One, or two answers. I mean, one is something to recommend right now that you can use for your company. Two, how you would use it in the context of the training program. We use and pay for particular marketing automation softwares. I mentioned three, Infusionsoft being one, and Drip. Both are a little expensive, Infusionsoft in particular. So if you are in this program, you could have access to those tools to be able to use them. If you're looking for just a recommendation for yourself as to what, you mentioned MailChimp and I think Constant Contact. These are both generally better at initial broadcasting than the automation. I would say that a tool like Drip, which you can start with a 21-day free trial, that's Drip, get Drip. Drip is something that I would recommend. And if you're familiar with the logic on how to structure campaigns, then you could work through it. That would be my recommendation. It's not always perpetually free. However, you can use it. Now, one of the things that we use and it's a bit of a hack. It's sort of one of our secrets, but I guess in the spirit of transparency, we actually push the envelope of Infusionsoft and we combine it with another tool to be able to send out large cold email blasts that result in opt-ins using a tool called a lead link. And to do that, we have built an integration with the tool called Mailgun. Mailgun is actually a tool that came through Y Combinator's class, I think back in 2011, and I paid and worked with a growth hacker and one of the Y Combinator alums that worked with the Mailgun guys. So we've known the Mailgun guys for a long time. But it requires some technical savvy and some developmental savvy. They've ultimately been purchased by Rackspace, But if you're advanced and you would like to look at a amazing tool for sending out large blasts and cold emails, I would highly recommend Mailgun. We also use them and have integrated them into some products, and I just put that in the window there. But yeah, so if you just want to, come to the webinar to get some recommendation on tools, there's a couple. Of course, we could cover more if you are participating in the program.
Okay, thank you. And I think you already put your link in the chat window and also some email automation tools there.
Yep, I put them. I put the links in the chat window so anybody can go ahead and check it out. Okay.
Is there any other questions? Actually, you can speak out because I already add you guys to the panelists, so everyone can talk now. Or maybe you can just
okay.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah. So how do we participate in the? Well, first, can we have the presentation slides? And another one is, will you email us about next training or like webinars information?
太不听了，这个好无聊。
Okay. I heard someone say, okay. Anyway, so okay, so I think we will send out the presentation later, and I mean the deck, and for the training program, it will start on September 10th. If you are interested, you can send your resume to. Let me put the email there. It's info@dataloss.com.
Okay.
You can send your resume to us, and we will have a review, and then send you the application form later. And Yan and we do prepare some promotion code for this demo class. If you are interested in taking this, you can put the code in the application emails. The code is gross. The code is gross hacking demo. It's all capital GH demo. I put the code in the checking window, so everyone can take that. If you in your application, if you use this promotion code, you can get a $200 discount. Okay, so I think we are almost running out of the time now. We can take the last question if anyone have any question there. Okay, it seems like we are going good, and thank you for you all. And
just to conclude, thank you all very much for your time. Just to conclude, I would say that we are real people with real products, and we've gone through this before. Ultimately, you want to come away with skills and the ability to get jobs if you're in the job market, and to legitimately say that you perform certain tactics and can have a reference. And we try to provide that through this program, both through direct access to tools, and it's something that we think is unique. You can have traditional training programs which just says, hey, watch these videos and have fun with your life. But then there's this element which has not only the training, but also the direct application of the training, so that you can say in good faith that you did it in the context of a program like this. So this is something, it's something that we built because we've done it for ourselves. And we are happy to field, as Jason said, send your questions into info@. Jason, if you want to route specific questions to me, that's fine as well. But this is really about trying to help you grow personally and professionally and ultimately make money. So feel free to lob in all your questions if you need to learn more to make sure you're clear before beginning. But definitely get your applications in because we're going to cap this.
Okay, very good. Okay, I think we are done with this demo class, and I will we do record the whole class. I will put them into YouTube, and that will be a private video, If you want to see that again, please contact with us. We will send out the link there. Okay, thank you, time, and enjoy the long weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for your time.
All right. Thank you, Ian and Jason.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.